Do you guys know who John Solomon is? It's not the person who wrote this, by the way. That is J. Edward Moreno. J. Edward Moreno. Not a fan, dude. Not a fan. Okay. John Solomon was like one of the, I thought maybe a founder of The Hill. I thought that he was like the editor-in-chief at one point. He was the leader of The Hill. This is how I had heard of The Hill originally. And then he left. At some point in the last couple years, he left, and he, I believe, began the... Now, what is he doing now? What is John Solomon doing now? Let's see. John Solomon reports from where? JustTheNews.com. Is that really the only place that he works now? Bentley Media, LLC, the editor-in-chief of Just the News. He had, let me see, associations with the Associated Press, the Washington Post, Washington Times, Newsweek, the Daily Beast, and The Hill. It kind of seems like, and this is maybe just my interpretation of John's career, but it seems like he's the guy on like the front of the wave all the time. He starts out at the Daily Beast, and then it becomes a rag. He leaves, he goes to The Hill, and now it's becoming a rag. Interesting, because this says, I'll show you my evidence for that in a minute. By the way, I only am highlighting John Solomon because John Solomon has been pointed to by multiple Trump posts and retweets from supporters of the president. And so John often, along with a few others, Catherine Herridge being one, these are, like, I guess, vetted journalists to the MAGA movement. They are, in part, releasing and publishing good information and in good faith. So you can see here from The Hill, that's not really being done. This says 2 Missouri men. This is from the Department of Justice today, this afternoon, just an hour ago. And this only has 167 shares. This is going to be a viral story. So the 167 shares that it's got now, it will be so many thousands more later. And I'm actually kind of happy that I found this early. It's not a good story either. So this is 2 Missouri men arrested en route to Kenosha with assault-style weapons. It's awful, right? Okay, well, get out of here. This says 2 Missouri men were arrested on their way. Get a copy editor. There's not one way to Kenosha, so you can't say on the way, unless there's a specific way or you're saying it generally. But in this case, this isn't general. This is specific. 2 Missouri men were arrested on their way to Kenosha, Wisconsin on Tuesday for illegal possession of firearms, according to court documents. Michael Carmo, 40, and Cody Smith, 33, were charged with illegal possession of firearms after being arrested at a hotel in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. So they came all the way to the state, and then they got busted. It seems like the local and federal support that is in Wisconsin now is doing their job, wouldn't you say? It seems like they're on it. They don't want more shootings. They don't want more instances where people have to become Kyle Rittenhouse. 2 Missouri men were arrested on their way to Kenosha on Tuesday. That's these guys. The complaint included photos of Carmo posing with a gun, probably like Charlie's Angels, in front of a pro-law enforcement Blue Lives Matter flag. Carmo allegedly told the FBI that he and Smith are members of the organization called 417 Second Amendment Militia. The authorities recovered several weapons from the hotel room, including an AR-15, a shotgun, handguns and magazines. That doesn't make much sense, as well as a dagger, a saw, and other gear. Okay, so they were loaded to the nines. They were just to the gills with weapons. No grenades, no Semtex, no C4. Come on. They're not really like alt-right crazies unless they have high, what do they call it? High temperature explosives. That's kind of the how you know. These guys aren't really that nuts. They just loaded down a truck full of a bunch of heavy shit. And yeah, they're going to kind of push weight around. But that's not the same thing. And by the way, not condoning it. Don't get in your truck from Missouri and drive to Wisconsin with a bunch of guns and saws. You're not going to help anyone with a saw. Who brings a saw to a gunfight? Is the saw to help, like, what? What? It's so dumb. Law enforcement received a tip warning that, see, copy editor, guys, a tip warning that, tip, that 2 were on their way to Kenosha, where protests have raged following the police shooting of Jacob Blake, a 29-year-old black man. Wait, that's how you describe him, The Hill? This is my problem with The Hill. Okay. These 2 paragraphs are why it's fucked. I told you John Solomon left for a reason. This is why. Law enforcement received a tip that the 2 were on their way to Kenosha while protests have raged. So wait, predominantly... Show up, stupid. Predominantly peaceful protests, okay? How do predominantly peaceful protests rage? Rage isn't a good thing. So riots are raging. Riots, burning, looting, they're raping their own city. That's what it is. So they're raging against their city after a police officer shot a, what? They say, well, it's a 29-year-old black man. Why is black capitalized? Because you need to create it a bigger thing than it already is. It's not just that he was black. He's black. That's what it is. That's what they're doing. And psychologically, subconsciously, when you see it written that way, you now think like the fact that he's black is significant to the story, even if it isn't. Even if the cops were called on him because he had raped the woman who was at the home, now he's back. After he's not supposed to be there, obviously, because he raped her, but he's not supposed to be there because the court ordered him to stay away. So he's got that charge. Remember we found out he had a rape charge he was convicted of? So he's not allowed to be at that house. That's why the cops are there. And he stole the woman's car keys. Her kids are in the car. He has a knife on him and another one in the car. And they don't say Jacob Blake, a convicted felon, rapist, and attempted murderer. No. He's a 29-year-old black man. You're supposed to identify those things as the same thing. That's why this is a problem. Because when you think about what Marxism does psychologically, it tells you you should identify people based on their race and their gender. But then they will find the people who are the biggest and worst criminals and then make you say out loud, that's just a black man. And now who are they chanting for? Who do we protect? Black criminals. Who do we protect? Black criminals. You heard this. It's capital B black. It's capital B black. Not just black criminal. Not just like, hey, if you're black, you can go commit crime. We'll cover for you. That's not what they're saying. They're saying if you are in the black community and you are a violent felon, you're a violent criminal, you've raped a woman, you stole her car keys, you're going to take off with her children, and the cops tell you to stop, they tase you, you fight them off, you have a knife on you, you should have been shot in the head, not the back. For all I'm concerned, the cop missed. 7 times. Give him an 8th shot. No, the president-elect, the presidential nominee from the Democratic Party, this clown show down here, yeah, Joe, hi, yeah, outbrain, no kidding. So he goes to visit Jacob Blake today. Why? Jacob, I'm so sorry that you can never rape anyone again because you're paralyzed. Don't know, don't care. This is the other part. The predominantly, you can see I'm turned up by this one. The predominantly peaceful protests, predominantly peaceful, turned violent after Kyle Rittenhouse allegedly shot and killed 2 demonstrators and injured a 3rd. So first it's peaceful protests. They turn violent after Kyle shot people. Well, wait a second. He shot people because he was being chased after one person allegedly was shooting at him. So he shoots someone in the head. He calls 911, says, I think I just shot someone. He's calling his friends saying, I think I just shot someone. People start literally stampeding towards him saying, get him. We got to kill him. There he is. So he's running away. He trips up running. And as they're jumping on him to stomp him in the head, kicking him and hitting him with a skateboard, he is firing his gun because he knows if he doesn't, he will be killed right there in the road. He'll be stomped and shot to death. And there's a guy running up to him, another felon, with a gun drawn. I don't have to explain to you what happened. But this isn't how it went down. There was not predominantly peaceful protests like a parade march, and then Kyle just starts shooting people. That's not what happened. He was being chased to be murdered, and he defended himself with his gun legally. And they write, well, he shot and killed 2 demonstrators. No, attackers is how you're supposed to write that story, not demonstrators. This is why John Solomon left. Photos have emerged of him sharing pro-law enforcement messages. So this is relevant because they think that the people who are pro-law enforcement who bring guns in their trucks, these are the same people who are going to go and commit more Kyle Rittenhouse shootings and murders. These are the people. It says, Mayor John Antaramarian, whatever the hell his fucking name is, I don't care, lifted the city's curfew on Wednesday night. Oh, that's great, because it was peaceful, because you had a curfew. Hey guys, I'm feeling a lot better. I don't think I need to take my medication anymore, said the mayor of Kenosha. Oh, I'm feeling much better. I think I can come off my meds now. No, John, you need to keep on. You need to continue your fucking curfew because guess what? You will have more people getting shot. Unfortunately, you will have more people from backwoods places, from the cities, from the suburbs. You'll have them all descending upon your cities. And Kenosha will be one of the first. If you tell people, hey, come back out, continue the rioting again, we need to ramp this back up. You will have not just the National Guard. You'll have people, even though the president has said, I only want the National Guard and law enforcement there. We should only let law enforcement go and enforce the law. But they hadn't been. So you had Kyle Rittenhouse. And when you have others, they'll do the same. What do you think we're going to learn from this? Let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And then do share this video because that helps. You need to share the video so other people can see it. And then, go back and click on a few old ones. Revitalize yourself. Reimagine that you maybe haven't seen all of the videos that are posted on this channel. I would imagine you haven't. And probably for good reason. But if you missed one, go back and look. It might be cool. Anyways, do that and then do everything else that you can do to keep America afloat.